Because then they actually invited us. They were like, can we host you and show you
Yes.
what's out there outside of the resort? So we're like, absolutely, because we're just
Absolutely.
getting more and more demand. And even if it's not the wedding, like if it's the rehearsal dinner or the
Hmm.
meet and greet, like just an opportunity to have people get out and experience some local food and nightlife and culture and not feel like they got off the plane, got in the transfer, went to the resort. They really didn't get to experience the destination that they were in.
Yeah.
Would be a great way to do it.
No, that
Um,
makes sense too. Yeah, I do love. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Me and Sparky are welcoming you because he won't get off my
Oh,
lap, and it's the best
hi,
way.
Sparky.
Say hi. Say hi,
He
Sarah.
needs attention. Oh, he's so
Clearly, clearly.
yes. He
Hello.
wants to be part.
Welcome
Oh,
back to the Dusty Guide to Destination Weddings.
thank you for having me. It's so good to see you.
Of
Oh,
course, I know it's so good to see you. I can't even remember, honestly, when we first came on. I'm like, when is the last time I've seen you? Ah,
it's been a while. The world is a blur. Things are just moving at a faster pace than I want to accept.
yes. And so you're always talking to us about all of the things. How is just COVID? How is the world handling COVID at this point? We know they were having a hard time, they being the world, but how's everything going now for the 2023, 2020, some of 2022, 2022 to 2024 Dusty Brides? How is it
Yeah.
different right now?
It's over. It's done. It's
Okay.
not, and it's so funny. I think we think about it more here, like in the US, than most other places. Outside of the United States, I'm shocked. I was just in Europe and been back and forth in the Caribbean and Mexico a lot. There's like no mention of it. It's not
Interesting.
even a thing. Yeah, it's really, I saw more people here in the US still wearing masks than I did anywhere else in any other country. Um, just really, as of the last couple weeks, almost every Caribbean island has dropped their protocols and their restrictions for being vaccinated. There's still little things like Cancun Airport still wants you to wear a mask. Like you don't have to have it on the plane, you don't have to
But
have the
when
resort, but like in the airport. So, and a lot, it's more suggestions. But for the most part, I really feel like it's a thing of the past. So
Interesting. That's so
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah,
That's wild how things have been. Are they doing like full capacity? No
yeah,
capacity issues?
yeah. Everything's back to full capacity for all the resorts. They've lifted like, where some of the bars and nightclubs had to close by 11 and there was some restrictions in that
Hmm.
regard. All of that's been lifted. So everything is back in full swing and open and there's no lack of restaurants or we don't have to hear because of COVID,
Right.
with occupancy or things being open. And all of our weddings, all of our groups that have gone this summer and in the recent weeks, we're just getting rave reviews. So no issues with, why weren't restaurants open or why couldn't I do this excursion? It's all good to go.
Woo! You made it.
Yeah, you will.
Look, I was about to say we made it, but you made it. Like you made it through. It was crazy.
I do. I feel it's very much a feeling of we made it. And I keep teasing that I think we prayed too hard because it came back like not in a trickle.
Mm.
It's been a tsunami of let's go, let's get out of here, pent up. They're calling travel revenge and all that. It's so true. It's so true. So like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought we were going to ease back into this, but it's exciting. It just shows that people love to travel and see the world. And I think this has made people go, oh, wait a minute. I might not be able to do that bucket list trip or that
Mm.
dream wedding or whatever. Let's plan it. Let's go. So
Yeah, I
it's
think
good.
that whole like life is short thing has, it just put things more in perspective. And when people are kind of, they've been held captive and I
Yeah,
can't, anything that you can't do, even if you didn't want to do it before, the fact that someone tells you you can't, now you're like, oh no,
absolutely.
no, no,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to, I want to. So
I call it like the 2-year-old mentality. Don't touch that. Don't
don't
touch that.
touch this.
They're going to touch it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't go on that trip. You can't
Yep.
stay at that
They weren't
resort.
even
And
thinking
there was like,
about it.
watch me. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just made people go, I'm not putting it off any longer. I really want to get out there and explore. and we're seeing crazy high numbers with destination weddings.
Okay.
Because I
Like what?
think it's like, typical used to be in the 50s, was a nice sized destination wedding. I'd say our averages this summer were 100,
Yeah.
100 plus. We had some
Yeah.
close to 200.
Yeah.
And even some of the bridegrooms were like, whoa, 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 that's not what I had in mind. Uh, but I think people missed each other.
Yeah.
And they were like, used to saying no because they couldn't afford it or that wasn't their thing. But they're like, all my friends and family are going. They didn't
Hmm.
want to miss out. So we were seeing people, a lot of first-time travelers
Yeah.
who were just like, I'm doing it because if my friends and family are doing it, I'm going to go too.
Yeah. So bride friends, listen to that because I've been saying it for a million years. But don't invite people you don't want to come, and they will come for real now. They're coming.
Well, what's funny is I used to always say, "Oh no, invite everybody," because we work on commission. The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Let's go. But it's funny. I've been doing the opposite this year. I'm like, be careful because
Hmm.
that aunt that you thought in a million years never been on a plane, she's not going to go. She
She's
might come.
coming. Yep. And she's gonna
Yeah,
be partially stressed because she was terrified the whole time, and she got all the
yeah,
questions. And yes, so watch that
yeah.
guest list
Classic
seriously.
guest list. But yeah, I've had the best feedback though. Of people just saying they had, it was like a family reunion. It was a wedding, but it was also just a celebration of we made it and we're all together. And it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome. I don't know if you
yeah,
remember the of course you remember, but when COVID first hit, we had just
yeah.
opened the Desti Lovers community, and it was like we had like the fuck coronavirus sessions and the what's going on and what do we do? And you had all of
Yeah.
the questions like pew 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 coming at you. So
That was
um
so hard because it's like you've never answered those questions before. We were
yeah.
totally new territory across the board and figuring out as we went along. And I'm really proud of this industry as far as everyone in travel that we made it. And we've come out, I think, better on the other end. Airlines still have some work to do to get their stuff together, but
Mm,
yeah. Other
well,
than that, I think I'm really proud of how it's all rebounded.
well, good. And today you don't have to worry about that. We're talking about the things that you do know. And this should all be within your control and within your wheelhouse. So, it's been a while since we've seen you, so I'm excited. We talked about it a little bit, but for you guys who are listening and watching, what we're going to do is kind of a series to get some updates. So this portion, we're going to talk about the fun stuff, what's new and
Mhm.
interesting. Um, so, what you got? What's happening in the world of the Desti Bride right now?
Well, it's just the usual places are still hot. Tons of Mexico, Jamaica, the DR. But I actually got to get out and explore a little out of my comfort zone in the last year or two
Mm,
because I was like, okay, it's not so busy in travel. So I did more travel during COVID than ever. I
yeah.
was like, the first person off the plane with the people in the hazmat suits and stuff. So I was like, let's go, let's do this. Um, I went to Croatia, which
Ooh.
is amazing. And kind of maybe another section we're going to delve off into because it's so reasonable. We did a little Italy, Slovenia, Croatia. We rented a live aboard yacht that held about 30 people for a week.
What is that?
And have you ever watched Below Deck?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
It's
So it's
that,
that.
but not quite so bougie. A little
Okay.
more, but still you have, the service and the staff and the, director and everybody on board. And we did all the little islands throughout Croatia and some
Mm,
of the main Dubrovnik and Split and, little tiny places I'd never heard of. And when you broke it down, it was like 2,500 to $3,000 a person for the week,
mm.
including most of your food.
Interesting. And like, how many
So
people did you guys just
we did
roundabout?
about 28 people on the
Hmm.
boat. So if you divide it out
That's a big
and
boat, first of all. That's a big
It's a
boat,
good
right?
size, yeah, yeah. And if you
Yeah.
feel worried about like seasickness or anything, it's totally flat, calm. There's none of that. And the boat doesn't move at night. You're in port at night. So you can go out and do local restaurants and nightlife and shop. And it just moves in the morning between the different destinations. So you're kind of seeing that beautiful scenery. So this is kind of a one of my new things that I'm going to delve into is for smaller destination weddings or people who want something a little bit more exotic.
Oh my God, your own personal cruise. Like
Yeah.
instead of catching a carnival, no disrespect, you can
Yeah.
have your own people, everybody take a
Yes.
week or whatever, and we're just gonna do it. Oh my
Yeah, and you
gosh.
can do a 4 day, it doesn't have to be a whole week, and you've
Okay, yeah.
got, 20, 30 of your closest friends and family. The captain can marry you. You can do the wedding on a boat, or you get off and go to a castle and get married in a castle, which was amazing. And I mean, you can rent a castle for like $3,000 over there, which is nuts. So
Okay.
reasonable.
I am
So
okay.
this, yeah. So I was like, I need to get out of my comfort zone, not so much, Caribbean, Mexico. So that's kind of a new thing I'm going to delve into. But if anybody wants like, wow, really different, that was amazing. And everyone speaks English. Food was amazing. Super safe. You'd run around in nightlife and restaurants and fun. So that's that's a thought.
Whoa. Yeah, I'm loving this already. Is this a part,
Yeah.
because I know that you've expanded in 2022 and you were kind of talking about doing some more European things. Is this kind of like a piece of that to make
Yeah,
that?
this is where I want to jump off to because like you can't be everything to everybody. Um, and I can't do the whole world. So I've always really specialized in Caribbean and Mexico, but I just
Mhm.
thought this would be something that's still fun and fun,
Mm,
sort of all inclusive because you've got the meals included, but everything was so reasonable. Like we had breakfast and lunch on the boat. We would go out and do dinner on our own, and it was just like a third of the price of most places here to eat out. Drinks were reasonable, so it still ended up being very much like an all-inclusive experience. So that's kind of where I'm delving into a little bit. It's not for
yes.
everybody, and it would be really where you just had kind of that core 25,
Yes.
30 people, but neat experience. It's wonderful. So,
Awesome. What else you
yeah.
got? Yes.
Yeah, so I just did my 25th wedding anniversary in Curacao. And I
Congratulations.
haven't put in any pictures or videos or anything. My husband probably thinks I hate him, but I'm like storing it up.
Saving.
So I surprised him and did a renewal of vows on the beach in Curacao. I was like, 25 years is a big deal, and
Yes.
we need to celebrate that. So it was awesome. We did the new Sandals Curacao, and
Wow.
gorgeous, gorgeous resort and explored the whole island. So if you're not into like the bigger all inclusives, there were some really cool little boutique hotels, and everyone there is like so educated, so amazing, so personable. Like an average person speaks 4 languages on that island.
Mm.
For so those people are like, oh, I don't want to go to the Caribbean, Mexico. It's so third world. Curacao is
Not at
not
all.
third world at
At all.
all. So very cosmopolitan. So loved it. And the weather's amazing. They get like 360 days of sunshine a
Because they're
year.
like right there by the equator or something, right? Like they kind of have that great temperature all the time. Because it's like Curacao is the sea in the ABC Islands, like
Yes.
Aruba,
Yep. Aruba,
Bonaire,
Bonaire,
Curacao.
Curacao. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. And
yeah.
just
And they
the
don't really
storm.
have hurricane season like that either, right? Isn't that the case?
Not really. It's sometimes like they get a little weather goes across the tip of Venezuela, so they'll get the thunderstorms, but yeah, they're really considered like outside of the hurricane belt.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one thing place you don't have to worry about too much with weather and English speaking, great food. Um, just loved it. And if you're a diver or the sea life, I saw things underwater there that I've never seen anywhere. Octopus and eels and crazy stuff. It was amazing. So
Oh,
that's yeah. So that's one of my new hot spots to go to.
that is
But I'm revisiting.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
First of
Just
all, you had your 25th wedding anniversary, which is absolutely amazing. Congratulations to you.
thank you.
And I'm getting all like nostalgic because I feel like I'm gonna have to re-listen, but because you've been with us since the beginning. I feel like when I first interviewed you, you were like, yeah, it's like our 20th or we're coming up on 20th or something like that. So to know
Probably.
now, like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so exciting, and you did a surprise. I can't. Okay, that's so sweet. So I
Yeah.
have to.
He was a little annoyed with me, but it was fun. It was fun to be
He doesn't like
on the other
surprises.
side of it.
He's the I don't
Uh,
like surprise guy.
yeah,
Uh,
he was cute. He was like we did vows and I kind of just said some stuff from the heart, handed him the microphone, and he just goes, same.
he's like,
Because that's what happens when you put me on the spot. So,
yes. What do you want
but
from me right now? Yeah.
it was just so fun though to walk through what my brides and grooms walk through. I did a cake tasting. We walked around and did, looked at the venues and, they were trying to treat me like I was just a bride who didn't know what I was doing. And it was
Oh.
really, really cute. And I just kept saying, I don't care. Surprise me. I don't care. And they looked at like the color nail polish I had on and like the colors they saw me wear the couple days that we were there before and like customized all the colors to kind of like teal and white. And I was just like, attention to detail. It's those little
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. And I
Yeah.
love your blues all the time, your beautiful blue eyes. And I know that the blues bring it out. So you got that.
Love,
Wonderful.
little addicted to glow. It's bad.
I mean, it's understandable. So,
Little
uh,
oh,
okay.
yeah.
That's so sweet. So yes, okay. So wait, but with Curacao, because I know that you went to the Sandals, and that's an all-inclusive. But when you mentioned the boutique hotels and stuff, how
Hmm.
do you have kind of like any? And this isn't. We're still in the what's new, but since we're here, just a little quick, like
Yeah.
when it's not an all-inclusive situation, how
Mhm.
should couples be thinking about that? Like, how do they handle things differently when it's
Hmm.
not an all-inclusive situation?
It depends. I mean, I am truly a huge fan of all inclusive
Right.
because once you do that, there's no going back. I mean, it's hard, especially if you're doing just a honeymoon, it's fine because it's the two of you. You can get out and explore. And it was very reasonable to get a car. You could even, rent a car there if you wanted for a day or two. Um, but there's even some boutique places. Like we went to the Zoetree, and that's like a very small boutique hotel, and that's an all-inclusive.
Is that still a
Um,
AM resort? That's in
mhm.
the family of secrets, right? Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is. So that was really impressive. Um, but yeah, if it's a destination wedding, I really think all-inclusive is your best bet.
Okay.
Just because that way everyone's on the same page once you're inside the resort. They can eat, drink, and hang out. And I think it helps keep your budget in check too, because you're not paying for all those little extras. So, it's they're there. I think that's fine for a honeymoon, but for a group, you've got to go all inclusive. That's so much better.
Hey, okay, I know I'm interrupting, and you probably got your notepad out by now. And if you don't, this might be a little quick second for you to go grab it. But I have to take a moment to thank our amazing sponsor, who you're sitting here listening to, Sarah Klein and Time for Travel. So, by now, you're starting to understand the value of a destination wedding travel agent. And Time for Travel is an amazing choice. Sarah's been in the business for over 20 years, and she offers intimate experiences just for the two of you and also the grand events for your family and friends. And her Instagram account, if you haven't checked that out, is everything. Time for Travel handle all of our travel for our destination wedding in Mexico and our honeymoon in Jamaica way back in 2017, and our guests still rave about her and have used Time for Travel for personal vacations since then. As you guys know, I only partner with companies that I truly believe in, and I'm proud to have Time for Travel on our team as a Desti Pro, but also as a Desti partner. So thank you, Sarah, for sponsoring the show. You can find out more information about Sarah and Time for Travel and get a free consultation at timefortravel.com, and tell her your best Desti bride friend Omi sent you, and they'll take extra special care of you. All right, back to the interview.
Okay. What are your thoughts on coming, kind of like doing what we did, which was everyone stayed at the all inclusive, but we
Yeah.
chose our wedding venue somewhere off.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. We're seeing probably more and more of that, especially as a lot of these like restaurants and beach clubs are starting to really
open up.
see the value and bringing in these groups and destination weddings. And actually, I'll be in Cancun the 20th to 26th of October. And the same group who has a lot of restaurants in Tulum and beach clubs, we're going to tour venues that are outside of the resorts. So we're going to see a
Mm.
couple in Cancun, a couple in Tulum. So I'll have some great updates in the next couple weeks with that. Because then they actually invited us. They were like, can we host you and show you
Yes.
what's out there outside of the resort? So we're like, absolutely, because they're just
Absolutely.
getting more and more demand. And even if it's not the wedding, like if it's the rehearsal dinner or the
Mm-hmm.
meet and greet, like just an opportunity to have people get out and experience some local food and nightlife and culture and not feel like they got off the plane, got in the transfer, went to the resort. They really didn't get to experience the destination that they were in.
Yeah.
Would be a great way to do it.
No, that makes sense too. Yeah, and I do love that. And that's awesome. So enjoy that. Yes. Can you host me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We
Yeah,
sure
for
can.
sure. Okay. You want to show me your fabulous restaurant? Yeah. So, yeah, lots of good stuff to come on that because that'll be a kind of a new venture for us to really get out and see some stuff that's outside of the resorts because we're always so focused on seeing updates and new hotels and everything. Um, and that's kind of part of why we're going down. We're going to do a week in Cancun, which, I go there about every 6, 8 weeks, I feel, or, an event or an opening. But we've put all new hotels on our agenda and we're going to see some neat stuff. So hopefully we
Can
can
you
do a live update.
can
Uh,
you share a couple of them just to give us a preview?
yeah, sure. Actually, Hilton Hotels has delved into the all-inclusive market. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's nice because I feel like for the American traveler, it's a really recognized brand. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's a Hilton. It's got to have this level of quality and standards and safety and food and all that. So I think that's a great partnership. And there's a new one in Cancun, just south of the hotel zone, and then a Hilton Tulum, which
Mm.
is going to be really hot. We actually already have weddings booked there for spring of 23 and into 24. Um, because as you know, Tulum is very Instagram hot
Yes.
and,
Yes.
all over the place. You're always hearing about
Yeah.
people
The
wanting to go to
Mexican
Tulum.
boho moments and it's so yes.
Oh, chic. And,
Yes.
it's a great day trip. It's really fun to go for an afternoon and go to the museum and do the beach clubs. But there really isn't like people always think I want an all-inclusive resort in Tulum. And that kind of goes against
What
what
Tulum
Tulum is.
is. Right.
Yeah, they're supposed to be bohemian and not, so there's resorts that are popping up around it. Like the Hilton is about 25 minutes north of kind of Tulum proper.
Okay.
So still close enough to hop down and do, the
Like
beach
Playa
clubs,
or
like
something. Okay.
yeah. And then there's actually going to be a couple AM resorts opening probably the end of 23 into 24 that will be in Tulum proper and have all
Mm.
inclusive. So it's coming. But we're always getting asked, I want to do my wedding in Tulum. And I'm like, it doesn't, in Tulum proper doesn't really work. So now we at least have some great resorts to offer around there. So the
Yeah.
Hiltons are going to be great to see. And then we have a couple newish properties, Secrets Muckshay,
Hmm.
which is amazing. You did Maroma,
We did.
and this makes Maroma look like, uh,
Really?
yes,
Hold
yes. I
on.
love her, and I was like, oh, this just took it up a notch. So
Does it have the beach? Like we're beach
the
people,
the
so
beach is not as good. I will say that
okay.
Maroma has the
That was
beach.
what made it for me, like for us
Mhm.
actually. But
Yeah. But this resort has like a rooftop infinity pool that overlooks like the whole thing. Has a lot of
mm,
rooftop wedding venue options, so like
mm,
total privacy and seclusion. Because everyone's like, I want to look at the beach, but I don't want to touch the
be
sand.
in, yes.
And the best way I can describe this resort is just it's sexy. It is just like
Mm.
dark woods and blacks and marble. It's yeah. So we'll be there in November, so I'll have some more updates. I've seen it a few times, but I'm actually going to get to stay and give some really good updates on the resort. So that's kind
Mm.
of the new stuff. I'll be in Punta Cana in December, the Dreams Macau,
I
which
love
is
it.
also a newer kind of family, all ages, really great for weddings because it's an all ages property.
Ah, okay, okay. I love the Dominican Republic, the white sand and blue water.
Yeah,
And I always love that. That's where Jay proposed, so I'll
yeah,
always have a little special part for
yeah.
it.
And then I just got back from Sandals Royal Bahamian, which has been there forever.
Yes.
I have to say, I was like, oh, I've been there. I have to go to a meeting. They just reimagined that resort.
Mm.
Unbelievable. Looks so good and so different. They took out like some of the old buildings and made like a beach club with loungers. They put in food trucks with like real Bahamian food.
Mm.
They've got their own little private island where you can do your wedding on a private island for free. Um, and just brought in some more sand on the one side. So it's got two beaches now. It just looks amazing. And that Bahamian water is wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've been running around a bit.
I love that, and I love that.
And more to come.
Right. Oh, okay. That's a great preview, and I feel like it's cool that I know that COVID. Not that, I can't call it cool, but some resorts have taken the COVID, like the opportunity during COVID and the slow time to actually renovate and revamp. And hearing something like that about the Royal Bahamian, because it has been there forever and it has kind of just been known to be a little more dated, to for it to decide to kind of do that, because people
Mhm.
want to get married in the Bahamas. I think like Shavita from like episode, I'm not gonna lie, I'll link the episode. She had a whole thing with the Bahamas, or with, I think it might have been Royal Bahamian. But anyway, to know that updates are happening, because that can kind of
Yeah.
be the thing. Like, it's kind of hard to
Yeah,
decide
when
to
you're
go
busy, you can't
outside.
just close down a resort and start renovating it. So for some
Exactly.
resorts, it was an opportunity to get in there and refresh
Yeah.
what needed to be done. Um, so the good and the bad.
Yeah. And it's a great treat for everyone who, had to wait, or who's had to go through all of the things that we've had to go through in these
Yeah,
years. Now, once you are ready to travel, you get to go to, updated versions of things. So
yep.
yeah,
And in the next 2 weeks, we have our final reschedule COVID weddings. We're finally almost through them.
really,
Yes, yes. I think a celebration when that I have two
yes,
more to go. And
absolutely.
just, working with these brides and grooms, some of them now almost 3+ years, and just moving it, moving it, and moving it. And I'm so proud of some for not giving up, because I think
Yeah,
I may have given up on the third or fourth reschedule.
yeah.
So I'm excited that we're finally gonna move past that milestone.
Yes, that's exciting. That's wild. Yeah, it's 2022, it's the end of it. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, we do have to celebrate that. We'll have to go, yay, get a
Yep,
little
for
thing for
sure.
that.
For sure. Absolutely. Yep.
So for new things, you also had mentioned something about some different types of technology that could be helpful to couples. So
Hmm.
what you got for us?
Yeah, actually, we're started using a new kind of reservation system. And we've been struggling the last few years, kind of with the gap of, you've got the younger crowd, the millennials, who are so used to just clicking on something, getting themselves booked, and moving on. They
Mhm,
don't want to talk to you.
mhm.
They just want to click and go. And then we'll have, the older aunt or the grandma, or just, the person who just needs to talk it out. They need all the details. So we've created a booking platform. So when you do a contracted wedding group with us, we'll build you a booking page. And you can either send that right to your guests, you can embed it on your website,
Hmm.
however you want to do. If you're doing an evite, or you can put a link on your printed save the dates, and they'll go in. They can see all the rooms that you blocked, information about the hotel, the rooms, and then they go in and basically register themselves for the wedding.
Mm.
And by doing this, they don't have to like come to us and say, how much is the price, and the back. There's not, it takes away a lot of the back and forth and gives
Yeah,
them all the information up front. So if they don't ever want to talk to us, which
they don't have
happens
to.
more and more, they can just do it all online. But like I said, we're still here to answer the questions and walk you through travel insurance and make changes and all that kind of stuff if you need it. But I think it's really helped, because for those who just want to, I'm only going to go for 4 nights, I just want the basic room, just here's my deposit and move on. It's been a great tool. Also for people to be able to kind of really look and discover the resort before they come to us with
Mm.
questions. Because all day long, I still get that email, hey, I want to go to the wedding. And I'm like, whose wedding? What dates? How many people? There's a lot of like back and forth. So I think this has really been great for everybody involved. You're still going to have, the family member who wants to come in and write us a check. It's
Yes.
just
Yes.
the way it is. And we're here to do that as well. So, whatever works. But that's been great. And then this new technology also allows us to send reminders. So we send,
Mm.
hey, we're 9 months out. Have you thought about getting your flights yet? Hey, we're
Mm.
6 months out. Take a look at that passport. Make sure it's good 6 months beyond your travel date. And then we do another 3 months out. Any schedule changes, make sure you check your airline, send us the latest stuff. So just really like keeping them engaged, reminding them of second deposit, final payments coming up, all that good stuff. That was really manual before, and
Mm.
it's something the brides and grooms want to have to do. But
Mm-hmm.
now, once they're registered in this new technology, they're going to get all these updates. They also will get like what to know before you go, and then in destination, how is everything?
Oh.
Is your room okay? Are you having a good time? Share some pictures if you want. So we're just really trying to make sure, even though they're a guest of your wedding, that we're still touching them over and over and over again, because we don't want them to get there and then be like, oh, I didn't know I could have had an ocean view room. Or why didn't you tell me I had to bring long pants to go to dinner? Just
Yes.
silly stuff like that, you know, people who aren't really well traveled maybe don't think about. Or everybody's so busy they forget about. One of the craziest phone calls I get when I have big wedding groups out is they get to the airport and destination and they have no idea who's picking them up.
Oh my goodness. That's so wild too. I remember my dad, I love you. I love you, Dad. If you're watching this, I love you. But that man got off that plane and text or called it. We're here. I'm like, okay. The shuttle, you got your packet? What packet? Okay. So, and you have to walk them through, like, don't just, people are going to try to get you, right? Because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got cabbies who
yeah,
are random, but there's someone really waiting for you. There's a shuttle that's got your name on it. So just look for
yeah.
your name. So,
I
yeah,
think
that's
people
funny.
get off and they think someone's gonna like tap them on the shoulder and be
Yeah,
like,
like we're waiting
okay,
for
come get
you
your.
right
Yeah,
there. Like,
yeah. So
so,
I mean, we send it over and over and over again. It's on all their documents. And
but
about
still, yeah.
1 o'clock in the afternoon in the office, here come the phone calls. Hey, I'm at
Hey.
the airport. Who's picking you? I'm like, did you not read anything?
No,
So
yeah, no, yeah,
no,
it's so much, so much, so much. So it is
it's
great to have another touch point
yeah,
that's like, hey, you're about to leave. This is what you do. And I love that it's one less thing for the couple to have to deal with because I'm always coaching and letting them know, like, this is what you have to make sure you have to take care of your guests. So if
yeah,
that's
yeah, for
something that
sure.
they don't have to worry about, even better.
Yeah, it's so
So,
funny how so many brides and grooms reach out and they're like, how are they going to know what hotel? How are they going to know the driver? And I'm like, I've already done all that. They're like, oh, you
oh,
have? I'm like, that's our job. That's our just make sure that all your guests are informed. We've sent them everything. Tell them to stop asking you questions and ask us. That's what we're for.
yes.
So yeah, so we're hoping this new technology will really not bombard them with information, but give it to them multiple times.
Hmm.
So it should knock out any questions and help tremendously. So
Oh,
I'm excited. It should
I'm
make my job
excited.
easier.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited to get a look at that. Maybe we can do like a walkthrough on what it looks like to give a little preview at another
Yeah.
time as I'm
Yeah.
hitting things.
Send, send
Um,
you a sample. Yep.
yes.
I've got some fabulous new employees. I've got two great assistants now who are just amazing. And yeah, so things are rolling along.
I
Doing
love
good.
it. Yeah, you might have to do like a meeting with them so we can meet them
Yeah,
too. Have them on something. That's awesome. That's
absolutely.
so
For sure.
exciting. Um,
It is. So,
okay, so that's what's new. And
mhm,
this is really like a great segue to go to our next portion, which, since we're talking about the couples, well, I
mhm,
would like to talk about what they need to know and what they need to have. Like, how do they know that they're ready to start, and what should they
mhm.
be bringing to the table when they're looking for their agent, planner, There's things y'all
Yeah.
need to be doing beforehand.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yes, calling is a thing, but how can you help the experience go smoother?
Yeah, it's funny. And I've quite a spurt of this lately, and that's why I thought this would be a great topic, is people